We indeed do have Mark Ingham on the line now. These things happen. Sometimes the wrong plugs get put into the place. But to get onto that story that we mentioned a moment ago, Adcock has postponed its shareholder meeting to give investors time to consider a revised offer from CFR. The story here is that CFR, the Chilean company, wants to entice the public investment company to back the deal. Mark Ingham from Ingham Analytics was in studio recently. He's been following the deal very closely. Mark, we did have Natasha Arendse at the meeting yesterday. She reported back to us. She gave us some useful insights. It appeared as though Bidvest had lawyers there standing up, making a case.
Alec, yes. I think that's in the public domain, and I can't comment any further on that other than what is being released on SENS.
But technically, what exactly was the purpose of having the meeting yesterday?
Well, the meeting was due to go ahead as flagged in the shareholder circular, and as we discussed, I think that was it on Friday last week, Alec, at the 11th hour, the goalposts were changed. And so I think the argument of Bidvest was that it should go ahead as planned. In fact, what's transpired is that the proverbial can has been kicked down the road into January, perhaps late January. We don't have a final date. I think what's interesting, though, Alec, insofar as the public relations goes around this, is that the implication is that the postponement will give shareholders a time to reconsider this purported higher offer. We can go into the detail on that just now, but I think it's worthwhile for your viewers to take on board the fact that the issuance and placement, insofar as the new CFR shares is concerned, began within 180 days after the 22nd of July 2013. Now that takes us to the 18th of the 1st, give or take, 2014, in which the shareholders of CFR have to consider this. So effectively, we're actually moving into the CFR time schedule now insofar as their capital raising is concerned, which remains as yet uncertain.
Is it possible? Certainly there would seem to be a hint in what CFR announced, or the statement that they put out. Is it possible that they would now come with an all-cash offer?
Alec, I guess that could be feasible based on what we know, given the balance sheet position of CFR, and even in the event of an overwhelming minority support, I fail to see how they would bridge the gap, which is meaningful. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars here.
So they don't actually have the money to do a all-cash transaction?
No.
And they're trying to use their own shares then to make sure that this will happen, but the PRC is saying, we don't want your shares. Is that in a nutshell where we are?
Alec, there's been certain comments attributed to the PIC. I can't vouch for the veracity of that. But if a shareholder, any shareholder for that matter, is looking for an all-cash deal, and just as an aside to that, Alec, if it was an all-cash deal, that would relieve the considerable financial pressure that would be placed on the combined entity going forward, and therefore the capability to reinvest. Then certainly I think anyone would take that fairly seriously. But as I say, the capacity to do that appears not to be there, unless CFR have this capability to pull rabbits out the hat. But I don't see that happening.
Well, our thanks to Mark Ingham from Ingham Analytics.